Almost 6 years after the demonetization took place, November 8th, 2016, the apex court, that is the Supreme Court of India, wants to take a look at what happened during that time. Why was the government forced to do the demonetization? And they have told the government to have all records. They've also told the Reserve Bank of India to keep all the records handy so that they can investigate this. Why now? Don't they have anything better to do? They have to just look at the backlog of cases that they have to understand that there's a lot of stuff that is much more critical. For example, there is a case pending from 2007 where a lot of small and medium manufacturers got shafted by their own banks because they didn't manage the currency appreciation that happened for a small period of time. Well, that case continues to gather dust, and we don't know when it will see the light of the day. But the Supreme Court has suddenly taken a fancy to look at what happened during demonetization. Well, I can tell you, this government usually likes to not say anything, and they'll just ask for another date, another date. Who knows, in 5 years' time, they may make a response to this case whenever that comes up. 5 years later, they might say, in the interest of national security, we cannot divulge any information. Case closed. Who knows who's going to be the prime minister 5 years from now? Why do I say this thing? Why am I so skeptical? For once, I agree with the government that it should not reveal any data about what happened or what caused demonetization. There are two candidates. One is, of course, the stated objective of trying to control or curb the black money. The second is the menace of fake currency that had taken gigantic proportions. Now, I've told in my book, it's on the back of me, it's on the wall behind me, Who Painted My Money White, that it was a fake currency that prompted the government to do it, whereas the government says it was black money. Either way, government cannot come out and say that this is why we did it, although it could be a combination of both also. And today, maybe Pakistan doesn't have the money to buy spare currency paper from which they can print notes. But at some point, they had been doing that. Today, China might be able to do that. We don't know. China has had this obsession with India that they think that they need to show India that they are the ones who can jerk India around in any which way you want. And of course, India has been very compliant in that, being allowed to be jerked, in my opinion, whether it is the power outage for 13 hours in Mumbai, or people camped in and taken 4,000 square kilometers, and or people not withdrawing from the line of actual control, where they keep on using the famed communist salami tactics, keep gaining land. That's just my perspective. Now, let's take a look at why this whole idea about demonetization is a waste of time for everyone. 85% is gone. Everybody knows this thing. Now we want to keep moving on. You remember that in after the demonetization, usually in those days, it was Arun Jaitley who used to be the spokesperson for the government. He'll come out and articulate in highfalutin English why something had to be done. But in this case, he refused to do so. So story is that he was kept in the dark, and his secretaries were actually working on demonetization for 6 months in Modi's house. And therefore, he didn't want to do anything with this, not even explain why it was done. So the explanation part in English fell on the shoulders of Mr. Gurumurthy, who in one of his interviews, if you had looked and listened carefully, you'd have known, he had said that the 2,000 rupee note, which was introduced in 2006, will be phased out very soon. Okay, today what you're seeing is that the 2000 is rarely available, new notes, I mean. The existing notes are slowly getting phased out. And it is my hope that even the 500 rupee notes that are in circulation now start getting phased out in favor of the 200 rupee notes. When India's highest denomination is 200 rupee notes, what happens? It becomes that much more expensive for other countries to counterfeit the currency, because there is some cost to the paper, cost to buying the equipment, cost to print it, and cost to distribute it. So all said and done, at 200 being the maximum currency, India, the counterfeiters will go down. Plus, there is an added benefit. If there is 200 as the maximum currency, most transactions will be forced to be in bank to bank. Imagine carrying 10,000 rupees and 200 rupee notes. That's a lot. One bundle of 100 is 2,000, right? 200 times 100. Oh, maybe it is 20,000. Anyway, you get the idea. So 1 lakh will be a lot of 200 rupee notes, right? So this is why I think that the government is moving towards that direction. Let's hope it does that. And even as it does this thing, even as it ramps down the 5,000, even as it ramps down the 500s, it needs to ramp up the 200s, maybe 4 times the amount of 500s being ramped down. That way there is a smooth transition. It doesn't have to be broadcast. It doesn't have to be announced. It just has to be done quietly. I think that is the way to go. Thank you, the government of India. I know I'm very critical sometimes of the Modi administration, but this one, they're doing it the right way. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. If you liked our research, if you'd like to show us your appreciation, you can do it 2 ways. You can buy my book and put in a comment in Amazon as to what you thought about it, or you can just donate using the super thanks button. Thank you very much. Namaskar.